For today's recipe segment, we are back here in the test kitchen above Frontier Grill. Rick, we have a guest today.
We do.
Who is our distinguished guest?
Takashi has come from Takashi Restaurant, and I am super excited because I love your food.
I'm so pumped up. Look at this, my muscle.
Oh my goodness.
Takashi Yagihashi.
That was not impressive, Takashi. I'm sorry, it was not impressive.
Not only Takashi Restaurant in Bucktown, but also Slurping Turtle in River North, right? Your ramen joint, and also in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
All right.
Soon to be.
One more month.
One more month.
Blue.
All right,
go blue.
Okay, so today's recipe item or ingredient item, Rick, is what?
It is sweet potato.
Right.
And there's lots of kinds of sweet potatoes out here. What kind of sweet potato did you bring?
I just grabbed that, like the regular red one.
Yeah, okay.
Sweet potato.
And I brought the white flesh sweet potato because I think it's sweeter, and I want to encourage everybody to get these beautiful white sweet potatoes.
So as you know, the rules were you bring 5 ingredients beyond that one. Salt and pepper doesn't count.
I have a secret thing hiding in my
secret thing. Okay, you can trust that in a second.
All right.
And then we're going to get 15 minutes on the clock, and we're going to create something that people at home can do.
Yes.
Okay?
Fantastic.
So Matt, our distinguished editor off camera, is going to start the clock in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay.
15 minutes from this point forward. Yeah. Now I'm guessing it's going to be kind of a Latin versus Asian theme, probably.
So,
okay.
Well, so maybe.
Now Takashi, tell me about that sweet potato. Is that like an Okinawan sweet potato?
No, you got a white flesh one. I got a white one too.
But what is the Okinawan that I hear about from Japan so often? The Okinawan sweet potato.
Really? I never used that. But my town is one of the best sweet potatoes. It's the north of the Tokyo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your town you're from.
Right.
Which is Mito.
Right, Mito.
I did my research.
Okay.
Yes, Mito.
Now, what you really have to know, though, is all sweet potatoes come from Mexico. See, I'm flexing my muscles, too, okay? That's where they all came from, but they really took up a beautiful residence in Japan, which is why I thought this would be a really fun thing to do, because they do gorgeous things with sweet potatoes in Japan.
And you're peeling off this flesh, and I can see a little bit of purple
There's
underneath.
a little bit of purple in this one, yes. Now, in Mexico, they often use this one. It's purple on the outside, but the flesh is really white on the inside.
Is that
it's super sweet.
Now, I know there's a purple Peruvian potato, totally unrelated.
Totally unrelated,
Okay.
yeah. This is in a completely different family, and a lot of times what we see is these beautiful hedges of sweet potato vines in the summertime, and if you dig those up, you're going to find a sweet potato not unlike these here.
All right, so let's talk about even just the cutting part. Takashi, you've sliced yours into pretty thin strips.
Right. I'm using only sweet potato and 4 more ingredients. So what I wanted to do is I'm gonna do one is a raw, not cooked sweet potato.
Okay.
One is like a chip, with more texture of it. One is like a kind of smooth kind of regular sweet potato. So I'm doing a 3-way of the potatoes.
Okay. Rick, you've cubed yours.
I've cubed mine. I'm going to give it a splash of water, cover it with some plastic wrap here, and then put it in the microwave to cook it.
Want some water in here?
Yeah, please.
How much?
Okay.
And
Totally covered?
Yeah, it's Top Chef Masters. You don't get somebody to say, here, put the water in there for you. I'm going to cross right behind you.
I cannot move.
Here you go. Yeah, that's right. We're tethered. Okay. So why do you keep us in water just to keep the color?
Yeah, and take it out a little bit starch out.
Take the starch out.
You want to eat the roll.
Okay, and Rick is working in the microwave, which he uses all the time at Frontera,
Hey,
I'm
excuse
sure.
me.
You know what? I use it at home all
really?
the time because I think it can really do steaming of vegetables in a great, great way.
Okay, good tip.
Okay.
All right.
Now I'm on to my sauce here, which is going to be made from tomatillos with chipotle, and I'm going to do this really fast way of roasting tomatillos in a hot pan. This is one that's got a non-stick surface.
You're just slicing them in half.
In half. That'll make it cook faster. And then once I get those in the pan, I'm going to add some garlic to the pan as well.
Takashi, by the way, you're using a Japanese mandolin, right?
Mandolin. I love these guys.
I love those. You get those for like 20, 30 bucks, right, in any Asian grocery store.
Absolutely.
Right.
And it's like every chef carries one in your knife roll because they just slide right in, and it makes it go so much faster when you have to slice things like that.
Takashi, you're really slicing those thin.
I have no idea what he's doing over there.
They're almost
I'm gonna fry this one too.
They look like noodles in a way, right? Like the strips, yeah. So you're going to fry all those.
Right.
Okay, I mashed this garlic here with the side of the knife just to release that papery skin from it, and it'll soften it a little bit and make it cook a little bit more quickly. And then I'm just going to drop the on the garlic right around and in between these halves of tomatillo that are in this non-stick skillet. I'm going to turn the temperature up just a little bit.
So what is the end? What's the end game here?
It's tomatillo salsa with chipotle in it.
Okay.
Okay, and I think it goes beautifully with the sweetness of the sweet potato. So I'm just going to make kind of a side dish out of this.
Okay.
I've got a little crema here. I've got a little queso añejo. I've got some cilantro that puts me one ingredient over. So at some point I have to figure out what I'm doing.
All right,
we're getting 10 minutes.
10 minutes left. 10 minutes time to go.
I think Takashi's finished.
I'm done.
You're done. Seriously.
Well, he's done with his prep work.
Well, okay, so you fried some slices of those sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes.
And how long do you fry those?
Probably 5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay.
Right, until get nice caramelizations, because sweet potato has a lot of sugar, and I like that to see in the color too.
So let's check out your bowl here. You've got it really puffed up because you're steaming them.
Because I put a little bit of water in there because I knew that they would need that so they don't dry out. And then I put it in for 3 minutes. Now that it's sort of deflating a bit, and a lot of steam will come out. I'm going to check to see what our doneness is here.
And these cubes, by the way, are maybe just under an inch. They're not that huge.
I would say they're close to 3/4 of an inch.
Okay.
Now this bowl's really hot now.
Okay.
But it's not quite done. So I'm going to put it in for a couple more minutes.
Okay.
And cook those.
Your tomatillos are still cooking nicely here with your garlic in your saute pan.
Yeah, it's doing okay.
Takashi's really bubbling over there. You got a couple that have come out already. And those look good.
Yeah, it looks great.
You see this a lot in Japan. You see this beautiful attention to detail with frying foods, right?
Right. That's my personality too. I pay attention all the time, and a small detail to big deal. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
so bad about this.
Well, the thing about I mean, as a Japanese chef in America, you kind of have to do a little bit of everything as opposed to being over there where you focus on one discipline your entire career, right? You just make the tempura your entire life. Here you kind of have to do everything.
Yeah, but I'm so bad about the self-discipline. I'm always, screwed up somewhere. So,
yeah, I've noticed that.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
Come on.
Can you tell me, Rick, how you improved myself?
You know what? I don't think you have to worry about that. I think you're doing a really good job, Takashi.
This hour of the Rick Bayless Self-Improvement Hour is brought to you by 7 minutes to go.
Okay,
and
I'm
Rick
going
is
to
turning
barely make it. I can tell you this.
Excuse me.
Okay, now look at what's going on here in this pan, because we've got the tomatillos. I just flipped them over, and they've got that sort of dark roasty quality to them. In fact, they sort of, some people might say they look a little burnt, but that's the roastiness that I want, because that brings out so much of the sweetness in the tomatillo, and it will balance that sweetness with a slight bitterness there. So I like it all. I can smell the garlic now, and that garlic is doing such a beautiful sort of aromatic, filling the room here with all those smells and flavors and everything.
Oh, so Takashi's got his haystack and his slices going on over there. Yep. Right. Everything's fried, nice, little lightly golden brown.
Right.
Obviously, the smaller pieces, the faster it cooks.
Right. So you're gonna, started it with the big one and finished with the small one.
So what's a good tip for frying at home, maybe?
Well, use the little bit shallow saucepan, and don't put too much oil. And also the oil should be changed if you can change very often, and it makes food taste much more better.
Should people get a thermometer and make sure it's like 325, 350?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Right?
You didn't do that though.
But
I did.
Well, he's,
I put my finger inside.
Oh, that's
finger
the way
inside.
you could tell.
5 minutes to go.
Hot.
5 minutes to go, guys.
Okay, I got to really hurry it up here.
All
Okay,
right.
now I'm going to take my roasted garlic here from this dry pan and put it into the blender jar. And I think I'm just about ready on these tomatillos. They're just about cooked through. They have changed from that sort of light green color to more of an olive green. So I'm going to put those into here, but I got to grab a spatula.
Takashi, what are those, kumquats?
Kumquats. I love kumquats in the winter time.
Yeah.
It's so aromatic and so sweet, and the most I love it is very acidic too.
Yeah. Yep.
So this
Little
is a
winter
very
citrus.
great. Right. Then I have a little bit of sesame oil.
Okay.
I'm making a sauce right now. So sesame oil.
Hold that thought for 1 second. I got to turn this thing on here.
Time to blend a little bit. And do you want to blend it until it's just sort of chunky or really pureed? Or?
I like it kind of in
Yeah.
between what I call a coarse puree, which is, it's not completely smooth. It has just a little bit of texture. Now I'm adding from the can of Chipotles. They smell so beautifully smoky. I'm going to add 2 Chipotles and then a couple spoonfuls of the canning liquid there.
You know, if people have been paying attention the last couple of shows and they've watched these, they will notice a theme that Rick has a little bit of a secret weapon here. I think it is the canned
Super
Chipotles.
weapon.
Oh,
The canned
okay.
Chipotles. That's a good secret weapon, right? You whip that
is.
can out, you can throw it into a blender. Makes a big difference.
It's one of my go-to ingredients when I'm cooking fast, I have to say.
All right.
Okay, now the sauce is going to go back into this skillet.
look at that.
Great.
Doesn't it smell good?
It's bubbling, it's steaming. You've got the steamed cubed sweet potatoes now that have come out of the microwave.
Yes, and they're very hot. Boy, you have to be very careful when you open the plastic wrap off the top because there's so much steam in there you could burn yourself.
And they just
now
melt.
I'm going to put them all in here, leaving all the liquid that's in the pan behind.
Okay.
Right, so-
3 minutes to go.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
3
making a sauce right now. The sesame oil and the tamari, wheat-free soy, and this is much more aged, so it's much more thicker and more depth of the flavor.
Not because you're gluten free.
No.
Okay.
Then I got a little bit here is the how to say
Honey?
honey, but the buckwheat.
Buckwheat honey.
With the dark honey.
Right.
From some honey. I love their
this
honey.
Oh, wow.
It's
Where's
very
it
like
from?
a honey. It's a sweet, but it's a much more earthy taste from
Okay.
the buckwheat.
So an earthy buckwheat honey,
Right.
sesame oil, and
Mixing
some tamari.
together. Right.
And again, you're just eyeballing it. That's fine.
Are you like are over your number of ingredients there or not?
Let's see here. Tamari,
We gotta count
sesame,
his ingredients
honey,
here. I don't want any mess ups.
kumquats.
Concourse.
I think, yeah, you're good.
Then I'm starting, how to say, plating
Okay.
underneath with the regular kind of potato and a little bit chips and a crispy sweet potato on the top.
That's great.
And here I go.
That's gorgeous.
It's like a campfire.
Right.
Seriously.
Then we put
And then
kumquats in around.
Kumquats
because
around it?
kumquat makes it so much tied up to all the flavor because the tangy and the sweet.
Yep.
Because sweet potato is very sweet too. So, but I wanted to have something interesting, flavor there.
Rick is now plating his sweet potato in his tomatillo
Now,
chipotle
if
sauce.
I didn't have just these 5 ingredients to work with, I'd turn this into a soft taco filling by either adding some bacon or some ham or maybe some shredded chicken would be beautiful in there. I've got 2 garnishes that I'm going to put on here. I'm going to skip the cream because I decided I would really rather have it after I tasted it with a lot of cilantro on it.
Okay.
So I'm going to put a little bit of this queso añejo, which will balance the spiciness with a nice savory quality, also against the sweetness of the sweet potato. And then I'm just going to take a handful of these cilantro leaves and just kind of sprinkle them
look at
on
that.
and around.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And you're under a minute to go. I think
Yes.
this is it.
All right, so
Takashi
then
the sauce.
I just finished the drizzling that this is sweet and tangy and earthy, like almost
Oh, that's
honey.
gorgeous.
Wow, 2 extremely different presentations.
Then, finally,
Yep.
I'm gonna put raw potato in the top too.
Raw on the
What?
top.
What?
Wow.
So,
Are you really
That is
doing
seriously
this?
raw
Can I
potato?
taste that part of it? I just want to
Yeah,
taste
go.
that part
Why,
of it. Okay.
why do you need to do that? Because
well, it's a complex.
it works.
is it does work. Okay, all right.
You know, because it's got a completely different texture than the crispy.
It does.
Oh my
and,
God,
and
that
time is up,
super
right?
cool.
Fantastic.
All right.
Guys, 15
Looks-
minutes. That's
looks
15
15
amazing.
minutes.
Great.
Beautiful
Well,
dishes.
We got to taste
All right.
these.
Yes,
Let's
we
taste
do.
these.
You like spicy, right?
Oh, I love it.
You're gonna.
Yeah.
This is spicy. This is
All right.
spicy. Okay, I got to get into these fried sweet potatoes.
Oh, the fried's great. I love that sweet sauce there. Whoop, on the
It's
kumquat.
sweet with sweet. It's great.
Oh, and then you got that really acidic tang from that kumquat.
Right.
Like a little bit of the
This
raw
is
on
a
top.
totally savory. I can taste a lot of potato from
Yes.
potato themselves.
But you can imagine
Yeah.
making a little taco out of that if it had
Oh,
some
yeah.
shredded chicken in it or
Right.
something like that. Oh, I love that kind of
This
stuff.
would be just great on the side, like for fish. Have fish, and then this
That
is
would
the side.
be, it would be
Nice, yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, really nice. I'm gonna try Rick's.
Yes.
All right. Get in here. Oh, it's so hot. Yeah, the cheese is nice balance. I got oh. I was assertive there. How many chipotles? Just one?
I put two.
All right. All right.
I didn't ask you if you wanted it hot or not, but I made it hot.
No,
okay?
that's great.
So it's like
And-
it's really it wakes you up. up.
But it's two totally different approaches to really the same ingredient.
Exactly.
Sweet potato.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Takashi Yagihashi, thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you so much,
Arigato
guys.
gozaimasu.
どうもいたしま
Oh,
す
he's
Arigato
really,
gozaimasu.
you can tell he just came back from Japan, right? Okay.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Arigato.